How's it hanging? I'm David Pumpkins, and I'm gonna scare the hell out of you. Oh my goodness. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Halloween special of the Funny Business Podcast. Matt, you look like you're just an average everyday wear, but I guess you want to tell the people what you're wearing today?
Yeah, so for those of you who have seen Stranger Things, most importantly, Stranger Things Season 3, I think we're on Season 3, I am Scoops Ahoy Steve. So one of the characters, Steve, works at an ice cream parlor, and this is his uniform. I only ever got to wear this once before, so I figured I'd break it out again.
You totally look like you are just ready to be on the tugboat and just ready to go.
I also 100% shaved today because he doesn't have a beard in the show, and my beard was getting a little long. So it was due for a shave anyway, so it just worked out perfectly.
I kind of gave it away. I'm obviously David S. Pumpkins without the white hair from SNL 3 years back, I think.
Something like that.
Tom Hanks played David S. Pumpkins, and it was a skit I highly recommend. And, of course, since Halloween is Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, SNL usually does some pretty cool things. And I really hope Tom Hanks comes back, or at least some sort of makes an appearance for whether it's virtual or in person.
I'm pretty sure he came back last year for it. Or he hosted again last year and about around the Halloween time.
I think it was somewhere around there, but, I'm hoping that something happens with that. But this was probably one of the best purchases I made because I could literally wear it whenever I want to every year for Halloween, and no one can judge me. And I remember one time there was a person when I worked I am working now, but back when I was working and I was in costume, somebody of a very high administration didn't get that I was David S. Pumpkins. He just called me Pumpkin Man, and I'm like,
I mean,
so close.
Not everybody knows what Saturday Night Live is, as weird as that sounds. It is a great skit, though.
It is. And if you need to take a look at it, just type in David S. Pumpkins, and it's literally probably the first thing that shows up. But, well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, episode 28 of the Funny Business Podcast. Matt, we forgot to talk about this a couple episodes ago, but we have been doing this podcast for half a year now.
I keep saying this, but it just feels like we just started. I know we're on episode 28, and maybe it doesn't seem like we've done this for a long time, but it is like half a year. It's crazy. I still remember back in March texting you like, what do I need to do this? And I can't believe 6 months later we're dressed up in costumes.
It was funny because Jenna mentioned it to me about, us doing it for half a year, and I'm like, oh, you're right. 26 plus 26 is 52, and 52 weeks in a year, so here we are.
It's such a weird, 52 weeks in a year. Like, why can't we just make it 50? I feel like it's 2020. Do we figure this out by now?
Technically, if you but if you add up the days within a year, it's 365 and a fourth days.
That's also true. Yeah, that's just weird. Like, how the hell's that happen?
So it's not just the weeks, it's also the days that are happening. And then 12 months is probably the most normal thing that we can go with, but we all know how 12 months feels because it feels like an eternity right now in 2020. Yep. But here we are.
Feels like 2020 has been going on for 2 years.
More like 3. Hopefully,
but we made it to Halloween.
Yes, we made it to Halloween. Hopefully, yes. As we're recording this.
No, we made it to Halloween.
Made it to Halloween. Hopefully everyone has plans, but maybe if you don't, you want to try to find something to do maybe. But to start off today's segment, we thought we would cover a nice little good happy story. Another local story, believe it or not, in the Pennsylvania region in Gilbertsville. We are talking about a haunted car wash, Matt. Matt, I don't know. Have you ever been to a haunted car wash before?
Not a haunted car wash, no.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast.
I will decline to do that.
But what we're talking about here is Adams Royal Car Wash in Gilbertsville area of Douglas Township, Montgomery County. So again, another local one, is washing away the idea that Halloween is canceled this year. So what they did is they literally turned their car wash into this bright light, kind of the typical like neon colored lights as far as that. And adding some people involved and throwing in some decorations to kind of make it a little spooky inside while you are taking a car wash.
I kind of like this idea because I do like the whole washing away what 2020's been and trying to bring some Halloween spirits because people do love Halloween and people go crazy for like haunted houses and haunted car washes and all that haunted stuff and being scared and all that fun stuff. So it's a neat idea. Me personally, like, I don't know if I'd want to be scared when I'm getting like. Are they actually scaring you?
I think. I mean, I don't want to play the video. That it's a news package from 69 News, and with
Nice.
that, yes, great, Matt. With just the car wash happening itself, I think they scare you. But like, obviously, your windows are up, so like, how could you be like? I think to me, and this is obviously one of the reasons why I want to bring up this topic, was like talk about our own like haunted experiences, whether it's at a haunted house, a haunted hayride, whatever that may be. To me, I wouldn't feel so scared because I'm in the car. I'm in the comfort of my own car.
Yeah, that's probably true. I just don't know if I would want to be scared while I'm getting a car wash. Cause like when I get a car wash like through like an automated car wash, I always love paying attention to like the little thing that like comes up and like over your windshield. Like I just love it. I feel like I wouldn't be paying attention to the people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
maybe it's different if they're like cleaning your car physically
Well,
themselves.
let's get creative, Matt. Like that. I guess what you're talking about is the foam or the soap that
Yes.
goes over your car. Maybe after it's done washing, like literally, there's somebody in front of the car. Like as soon as it's done
Okay,
washing,
that'd be
like
pretty cool. Or if they found a way to do like green foam, make it like slime.
yeah. Well, maybe even with the neon lights too, it probably adds a little bit of color to an
Could
unusual
be.
color, I should say, as far as the soap that's coming through that. But
True.
Matt, specifically, what I want to talk about today is more so just haunted house experiences. I mean, I for one am not a haunted house person at all. I've been through some. I've been a part of some actually myself as a kid. But I'm just it's a big no when somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go to a haunted house?" I'm like, "Yeah, no."
I don't get the appeal of paying to have someone scare you. Like I have enough friends that scare me all the time when they do stuff.
I mean, my adult life scares me enough anyway.
Yeah, I mean
Like,
I'm terrified every day when I wake up. But um, I just never understood the idea of like going to a place and wanting to be scared. I don't know if it's like an intimidation thing, like oh these people can't scare me, and then they scare you and like piss your pants. I don't really know what goes through people's head on it.
Now, I know with like a lot of places itself, I'll take, for example, a really popular one that I think everybody knows that if you are in Pennsylvania, it's Reaper's Revenge. Reaper's Revenge is in the northeast of Pennsylvania. And I think to me, and if whoever's listening to this, if they own it, props to you, man, because I think they
Yeah.
actually profit and that's the only thing they do every year and they make enough money to profit every year is that. Like,
Yeah, it's huge. Like I know people go to it every single year, and I'm like, props to you guys, because there's no way I could do that.
we were driving Jenna and I to an orchard and cidery, and I literally saw signs for Reaper's Revenge. I'm like, nope, we're just gonna strive right past that. Nope, 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 nope.
That's an absolutely not. I was a part of one haunted house in my life. It was actually in college.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a great story. So, I was a tour guide through the haunted house. We were doing one on campus, and the day before they took us through, showed us where everything was, where people were going to jump out. So obviously when I was taking people through the tour guide, I was like playing them along and playing them like a fiddle, and pointing them in the wrong direction when this guy pops out here and all that fun stuff. But the funny part was I was dressed as a hot dog. Like I had a hot dog hat and a hot dog suit, and people kept telling me, "Oh, this can't be scary because you're a hot dog." And I was like, "Oh, well, I am a scary hot dog because I'm a hot dog without ketchup." I laughed. They did not. Regardless, that was fun because like we had people that like we were both friends with come, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are gonna be fine," and then they like crapped themselves the whole time.
You know what's funny, Matt? I don't know if you realize this. Do you also know what happened during that time too?
I do.
Yeah. So, Matt, I think we might be actually reaching the anniversary. And not that I'm saying like it's still going on, but
It's getting close. Yeah.
what's funny to me was during this time of the year, I decided that I bought some Tostitos habanero salsa, and I said to myself, I'm like, well, nobody's here to see me react to doing it, and I decided to go Facebook Live. And I had 40 people watching me eat chips and salsa the entire time. And luckily enough, it just added more crazy to it because Matt came in a hot dog costume.
Yep. Did I ever
And-
tell you my backstory before that?
No.
So we were done with. I saw you were on Facebook Live. And I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that'd
Yeah,
be
yeah,
cool
yeah.
if I walked in. So we got done, and you were like starting to wrap up. I was like, oh man, I gotta run it. I gotta make this. I booked it from like the science building to the townhouses, full on sprint up the steps, and just barges in the room.
And then that was the time I knew that if I wanted to do this on a weekly basis, I needed to lock my door because
Yeah.
I think you were the second person that barged in as far as, I mean, you were okay because you literally sleep there.
Lived in the same room.
You lived in the same room. But yeah, okay. Kind of bringing it back to haunted houses. I think to me, and I literally sound like a dweeb when I talk about this, I really like haunted houses that kind of not only put in the scare factor, but also the phobia factor. So I went to one that's still local here to the area, and it was part of an old school. So they took an old school that I think is also a fire hall too, and they changed it into a haunted house. So they had the typical like scare you, but then the other thing that they did was they had claustrophobia, like a part where like if you were claustrophobic, like you would be terrified. Literally, it's this, I forget, like the sumo wrestlers, like that kind of like material.
Okay.
I don't know what the heck it's called, but you literally had to slide through two very tight fabrics like that. And like, I was like, okay, I'm cool with this, but like, I thought to myself, like running through my head, I'm like, somebody's going to come behind me. Somebody's going to grab me. Like I had all these things in my head, but somebody who has claustrophobia, like, oh my God, you would have turned away. You'd be like, nope, can't do it. Nope, 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 nope.
Yeah, there would have been people having like panic attacks like halfway through. That is, I agree. I would have liked that too. But there was a lot of people that like would freak out with that.
Mm-hmm. And some people are really fans of them like grabbing them, like some of the actors grabbing them. I'm like,
Unless they're trying to get karate chopped in the throat. Absolutely not. Don't even try it, buddy.
Jack Johnson and John O'Leary right here, ready to beat you up. Right, ready to go. But yeah, I mean, the last time so throwing it back way, way long time ago, it was like 4th grade. I was in a haunted trail all the way up by my hometown, and it was the first part of the trail. So we were like literally the warm up, and it was disgusting. Now, sorry, I do have to say, I did tell my boss that we were doing our podcast recording today, and she calls me. So Leilani, if you're listening to this, what is wrong with you? And also, big shout out to Darcy Broadmerkle because she honked on the way as I was entering my apartment. So she's probably watching this.
Shout out Darcy. Lonnie,
Yeah.
I don't take any offense. That's all on Mike.
But I told her. It was like, I have a podcast recording. So, and then she's probably going to text me and be like, sorry, forgot you were doing a podcast.
Okay. Mistakes happen.
Mistakes are made. So, yeah, again, I was...
Yeah, haunted house is definitely my least favorite Halloween thing to do. I think my favorite fall thing I found, I did a corn maze earlier this year.
Yes.
I know this isn't super Halloween related, but fall related.
'Tis the
Corn
season.
mazes are fun. Even though the one I did took 2 hours to get out, and we technically had to cheat, but
I now freaking love apple picking.
yeah. So you went apple picking for the first time in your life,
Right.
correct?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. So
That's
literally
wild.
that story of me saying, oh, there's Reaper's Revenge. I'm like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
Like, we went apple picking. And it was just, I love apples.
It's
Like,
fun. Yes.
It's, having fresh apples, like, ready to go. Like, I usually eat an apple for lunch every day. Just having that
Keeps the doctor away.
keeps the doctor away. Amen to that. Keeps COVID away,
Wise
too.
man.
But no, that was really cool. I really enjoyed it. And, of course, it was with Jenna, too. So
Yeah, apple
was-
picking's the best.
Yeah. No,
And peach
it's-
picking.
I've never been. Well, I mean, obviously, if I haven't been
It's-
apple picking,
It's about the same.
I've been blueberry picking myself. But
Yeah, that I've never done.
it looks
Yeah.
like we got to
I
switch.
feel like
it up, my
blueberry
friend.
picking's not really big like down here.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know.
Crazy stuff. Lonnie just texted me, and I finally got what the story was. Lonnie, stop bothering me. I had work. I did work. Now I'm home, dressed in a pumpkin outfit and talking to a sailor, okay? Let's move on.
He has many questions for you.
Any questions? Oh, you were going to say that for the end, but...
Oh.
Well, hopefully, if you had the choice or the... shall you say, like, opportunity to go to a haunted house, I don't understand how you could, but hey,
Yep, props to you.
props to you. Glad you would. I would never. So, good for this Gilbertsville car wash and kind of putting some spirit into Halloween. But
Absolutely.
Matt, it is now time for another list. And to you and I, we had
Funny Business episode 28, Return of the Lists.
Yeah, return of the lists. So we had some discussion while we were preparing for this, and usually with these lists, we talk about the top. I'll give an example: the top 10 chain restaurants, and we had to come up with an agreement. But I felt that since you and I have both very much so bipolar opinions, I thought that we would make our own lists, and we kind of came to an agreement about making our own lists. So what we are discussing today is the top 6 candies, our own personal top 6 candies. Now, what I wanted to talk about and wanted to be clear was the brand of the candy. So I'm just going to put this out there now. Hershey's is not on my list as far as the top 6. But however, you could talk about Hershey Kisses and then the Hershey's chocolate bar. That would have been the same thing. So if anybody gets confused about that, now you know. Yes. But the top 6 candies of our own personal taste. Matt, I'm going to throw it to you. Let's start off with number 6. Okay. What is your number 6 pick?
So I had a list and then I changed it. So okay. I took this as like the top 6 Halloween candies.
Okay.
So I feel like there's candies out there that I like better than some of these, but I don't consider them Halloween candy, if that makes sense.
Yep, I did the same thing, actually.
Okay, so like, for example, one I left off was Twix. I love Twix. Ooh. I don't consider Twix a Halloween candy. But I'll start with number 6, one with Twizzlers.
Okay.
So I love, like, you don't get like a whole pack of Twizzlers, obviously, but you get the individual wrapped one. Do you ever have like the little like 6-inch ones?
Actually,
those are phenomenal.
I don't like Twix to a degree.
Okay. Twizzlers.
Oh,
you don't like Twizzlers?
I don't like them that much.
That's upsetting. I love licorice. But like the little mini Twizzlers are phenomenal. They taste a little different, but they're consistent every time.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Did you ever have the black licorice?
I that's the one thing I don't like is black licorice.
Okay.
I usually stick to like regular Twizzler, like cherry or strawberry.
I always, when I had them and when I had it, like, okay, I can eat one, but like it's not something that on this list myself, not my favorite. I always like pulling them apart.
Oh yes, yeah.
Like pulling the Twizzlers apart, but
yes, and especially when you bite both ends and then you make a straw.
Yeah. They're disgusting.
Just make your own like silly straw.
Silly straw.
What are those things called? Like the loopy silly straws, right?
Twisty.
Twisty straws?
Yeah, I don't think there
Twisty
really
straws.
is a name. Twisty
I think
straws?
there is. I just can't think of it.
You mean the loops, like the things that loop up like, and you see. Yeah.
The crazy straws.
Crazy straws.
That's what it is, yes.
It's like Crazy Steve. All right, man.
Yes.
My number 6 pick is Gertrude Hawk chocolate.
Yeah. Gertrude Hawk is good.
I was discussing this with a couple of students of mine before I left for the podcast, and they're like, "Oh, the bunnies, right?" And I'm like, "Clearly, you don't live in this area."
No, definitely people from NEPA don't really know what Gertrude Hawk is.
Yeah, no, Gertrude Hawk chocolate by far. My grandma actually
people who aren't from NEPA.
Yeah, my grandma actually used to work at Gertrude Hawk.
Yeah, I did know that. Mm-hmm. I've been to like one of those like local stores that just the Gertrude. Yeah, just the chain of the Gertrude Hawk store. Phenomenal chocolate. The
salted pecans too. Those are.
Ooh, I did not have those.
Oh my gosh, those are fantastic. Like that's if I'm ever in a store, I will grab if they have them available. But then also too, I get the smidgens, which is peanut butter.
Smidgens are the best.
Yes.
I think it's also true that if you go to that store in Dunmore, like where they're made, the broken chocolate they have like half off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think they do. You're right.
Yeah, it's a great deal.
Yeah, so if you ever are in the area of Scranton, feel free to stop at Dunmore for Gertrude Hawk chocolate. You can't miss it, and I would highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
Matt, I'm going to throw it to myself for number 5.
Okay.
It was something that I was really infatuated with as a kid, but kind of like it's nice to have when it's there. I'm choosing Kit Kat as my number 5 pick.
Okay.
I see the issue is with the rest that are going to come up. I feel like there's not enough Kit Kat. Like even with like the regular 4-piece. Here's the thing that annoys me even more when it's Easter time and they brand it Easter. Literally, they take the chocolate. You cannot break the Kit Kat separately because at the bottom is a little bunny. I'm like, can't you just put bunnies like on the separate Kit Kats itself? Like,
correct.
Oh, it drives me nuts. Absolutely nuts when that happens. Instagram captions and the Easter holiday Kit Kats. Two of my biggest pet peeves.
You can't go wrong with Kit Kats. Don't be that psychopath that bites right into it. You got to break them.
Yeah, you got to break them.
Break
but like
me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
literally
Please.
freaking Easter, you have to eat it whole. You're just turning into a monster when it comes to that.
Yeah. I will admit Kit Kat's not my favorite, but I do like it once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
For my number 5, this might be an unpopular opinion.
Oh, great.
I went with Milk Duds.
That's not a bad one.
Okay, I know a lot of people don't like Milk Duds because it gets like stuck in your teeth. I love Milk Duds. I could eat them. I get them every time I go to the movies almost. If I don't eat popcorn, I'll get Milk Duds. I love just like I don't know why. It's just like the consistency of them. They're just like phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have them that often, but when I do, like, I mean, I was gonna say the little round balls, but they're duds. Like, of course they're round. Like, yeah, I mean, I always enjoy those myself when I get a chance to, but I don't have them as frequent because I feel like they're not as readily available as like the rest of the things that I'm gonna talk about.
Yeah,
like Kit Kats.
I agree, and sometimes they get forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, I feel like Halloween, you always get like the little mini boxes that have like a
Yes.
personal size. Oh, it's like perfect.
Those are good. All right, Matt, you're at number 4, right?
Yes, I'm at number 4. I debated taking this out, but I left it in. Starburst.
Okay.
I feel like Starburst.
I love
Again,
Starbursts.
it's something that you can eat like every every time of the year. But I feel like Halloween, like it's a little special. Like you're eating a lot of chocolate, and the Starburst is a nice little change of pace.
Mm-hmm. I certainly love Starburst. I literally, I don't know if you ever get like concession stands or whatnot, but it's literally a stick and it has like a bunch of Star. Yeah. Like I will eat a full stick in one sitting, like even depending on how I'm feeling. Like
easily. And the ranking goes pink, red, orange, yellow.
Yellow being the best?
No, yellow being the worst.
Oh, you put orange at the bottom?
No, pink, red, orange, yellow.
Yeah, but it's the second to worst.
Yes. Exactly. There's nothing. Pink Starburst is easily number 1. Yellow is easily the least. Yellow sucks.
Yeah, yellow sucks.
Yellow sucks.
I don't know about that orange opinion, man. Sorry. This is not take it, but all right, man.
So you are up. Your number 4.
My number 4 was Twix.
Okay.
This was also another kid favorite for me when I was a kid, enjoying Twix. Of course, saying it out loud, being a picky eater, I really didn't enjoy a lot of delicacies that I do love today.
Right.
But Twix was certainly one of those things. Again, I feel like with Twix, you don't have enough when it comes to that. Like you only get 2, I believe, two of the little bars.
That's
and
true.
I feel like you just don't have enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see Twix as a Halloween candy. And maybe it's because like I didn't like going trick-or-treating. Like a lot of people didn't pass out Twix. Mm-hmm. But I do love Twix. It's definitely in my top 5 regular candy.
All right, man. I'm going to go with my number 3 pick.
Yep.
A little personal fave here, a little favorite line here from the Funny Business Podcast. It is thicker than a Snicker. Is going to be at number 3. I love king size Snickers. Like those things are the bomb.com. Yeah. If you really need to pick me up, like getting king size, it's thicker than a Snicker. Like that's true definition of thicker than a Snicker.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Snickers either because even the little bite-sized mini ones that people pass out, those are great. Like I've never had a bad Snicker.
Have you ever had homemade Snickers?
No, I never have.
Dude, you got to get a good girlfriend.
I've had. I'm gonna bypass that statement. You ever have the little frozen? No, first of all, frozen Snickers.
Oh my gosh, those ice creams.
That's a game changer.
Wow.
No,
okay.
No, ice cream good too. Well, yes.
Yeah.
You put Snickers in the freezer.
I've had like I believe the Snickers that like you can actually make Snickers ice cream. Like there's like
right. I'm just talking about taking a regular Snickers, putting it in the freezer for like 8 hours, taking it out. Oh, total game changer.
Also, to my creamer. If we were talking about creamers, I also have Snickers creamer, which was really good. But good my number 1 pick is actually my favorite of all time now for creamers. But we'll get into that. But okay. Matt, what is your number 3?
Number 3. So I did go specific here, but I have a reason.
Okay.
Mini M&Ms.
Oh, okay.
Because you cannot tell me that mini M&Ms and regular M&Ms taste the same because they don't. Mini M&Ms are far superior than regular size M&Ms. Far superior. And you can eat like so much more of them because like there's so many. Just pop in like 20 in your mouth at
Oh
a time. It's legit.
Or just take the whole bag and just
Yeah. No, those little tube size.
Mm-hmm. Oh, those
nothing,
tubes.
Nothing's better than the tubes.
Did you see that TikTok? I forget who it was.
I think I sent it to you.
Literally put a glizzy or a hot dog. I can't believe I said that on the pod. Literally put one of those frozen hot dogs, not cooked, like just completely raw. Put it in the tube of the M&Ms and challenged his dad. Like, I bet you can't eat M&Ms faster than me. And he gave him the one with the hot dog in it. He's like, oh.
And you had to do the straight arm challenge, and he did it first. Like all the M&Ms popped out. Dad's like, oh, I got this. Yeah, mini M&Ms far superior.
Well, not to jump to number 2, but I actually, so great direction, honestly, but I went with M&Ms myself as the number 2 pick. I specifically went the route of like the flavored ones, pretzel M&Ms. Wow. Those are phenomenal. I don't really go for peanut M&Ms as often, but when I do, it's really good. But
I love peanut M&Ms.
You can't go with the OG with M&Ms itself with chocolate.
Yes, the caramel M&Ms are good too.
Never had those.
They're pretty good. I think they recently came out like a couple months ago.
Okay.
Something like that. But they're pretty good. But yeah, I mean, any M&Ms, you can't go wrong with them.
Mm-hmm. All right, number 2, buddy.
Number 2. I believe this is going to be your number 1.
Oh, no. I was going to say, can we say it together?
Nope.
Oh,
no. I'm going with Reese's.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Reese's at number 2. Dropping the hammer. Listen, it's nothing bad against Reese's. I just feel like my number 1 is better. The Reese's are always consistent, whether it's the jumbo cup, the regular size, Christmas time, Christmas treat. Reese's are good. The Halloween Reese's are good. Easter Reese's are good. Reese's is a phenomenal candy.
Wow. I'm taking it back.
Do you have anything else to say about Reese's?
Yeah, I mean,
Since
again,
it is your number 1.
That's my creamer for my coffee.
Yes. I haven't had the creamer yet.
It's literally the perfect combination because originally I did Hershey's caramel and it was a coffee caramel cake and I was having too much caramel. But then this nice peanut butter mix with caramel is something worth it. But Reese's, and Jenna's gonna make fun of me because it's Reese's for all the intellectuals out there. Reese's.
Reese's.
Boy, shout out to Jenna. Hey, happy birthday to Jenna, by the way, this week.
Yes, happy birthday.
I actually should say that. I mean, I'm literally preparing my post for tomorrow. Her birthday was on Wednesday on social media, but happy 23rd birthday to the love of my life. I love you. But yeah, Reese's. It's something to make her happy, something to annoy her. Reese's. Fast breaks. Those things. Have you ever tried fast break?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I forgot about fast breaks.
That if I had to pick a go-to, let's do a road trip thing, I'd literally grab a Diet Pepsi. I was just gonna say Miller Lite. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm driving. A Diet Pepsi and a Reese's fast break. Totally easy with the arm action and being able to drive at the same time too. Phenomenal. Love it. Reese's is the GOAT, especially those big cups. Have you ever gotten one of those gigantic cups?
Oh, absolutely.
I literally have to I remember my mom got me them when it came time for any time for candy, and I literally had to take a knife and I had to cut pieces because I could not eat it. And of course too, you got to put them in the refrigerator. So
yep.
All right, man.
Consistent. All right.
I'm curious.
So it's not a chocolate bar.
I swear to God, if it's candy corn.
No, get the hell out of here.
Okay.
If you eat candy corn
no.
and you enjoy eating candy corn, you're a psychopath. I just want to put that out there.
I'm just checking my assessment. I'm just reevaluating my assessment.
So it's not a chocolate bar. I know I don't have much chocolate on my list, but I feel like Halloween candy is special because you eat so much chocolate. You need a little extra on the side.
Okay.
Which is why I'm going with Skittles.
Oh.
Skittles are the GOAT. The GOATs.
Better than M&Ms?
Better than M&Ms, yes. I love Skittles. I could get a whole variety bag of Skittles, and it'll be gone in a week. It is every flavor is good. I know this is very unpopular. They changed their green from lime to green apple.
Okay.
I love the green apple. I like it better than the lime. The grape is good. Even the yellow is pretty good. Orange is good. Strawberry is good. It's the GOAT Halloween candy.
Way to go, man. Awesome. Yeah. I feel like this was a pretty. I couldn't disagree with you on. I mean, the Reese's was a little thrown off, but
do you have any one that you didn't put on the list that you wanted to?
I wanted to put Hershey's, but like I felt like again, I said that in the beginning. Like I didn't want to put Hershey's. It's chocolate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. For me, it was Whoppers.
okay, that's interesting.
I feel like you don't eat Whoppers unless it's Halloween. I know a lot of people don't like Whoppers, but I personally do.
Yeah, interesting. Huh.
But I don't like it as much as any of the rest of these on my list.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. But hopefully you got a lot of candy. If not,
Yes.
You go buy some because
Absolutely. It'll be half off.
especially the day after.
Yes. Half off, baby. That and
Half
Easter.
off. What it do, baby? All right, man. Time for a final topic, which obviously Halloween theme, baby, because it is our Halloween special podcast.
Yes, sir.
Matt, let's talk about. I mean, we're still doing it because obviously we're doing it on the podcast, but
Right.
let's throw it back to the many years that we've dressed up for Halloween. I'm kind of curious, Matt. Do you have any Halloween costumes that you considered the best that you've worn in your life?
So this was tough. I had to consult with my mom because I couldn't remember a lot of them. So I don't really know if I have a best one, but I'll just throw a list of what I was.
Okay.
So I was a blue M&M.
Oh.
I legit had a blue M&M costume. A blue Power Ranger.
What do you remember? What series?
I do not. No.
Okay.
I couldn't remember. I was Spider-Man. That one I do remember.
I was Spider-Man too.
Apparently I was Superman.
Okay.
Apparently I was a shark. So there was a book, Sammy the Shark. It was about like Sammy the Shark eating a teacher or something like that. It was like a childhood book. I loved the book, and somehow I became a shark. I was a pirate, a Yankees player, and then in my adult life, obviously Scoops Ahoy Steve, a hot dog, Sully from Monsters Inc. I had the onesie, and of course we can't forget about Tommy Pickles.
Oh, Tommy Pickles. Matt literally went to the bar in a diaper, guys.
I did, yeah. It was,
and there was
very
no leggings or anything like that.
No.
Like you literally just went straight diaper.
Just straight legs. I also found some random guy that was dressed as Chucky.
Chucky?
And my friends were like, "Hey, you want to get a picture?" I was like, "Sure." I don't even know him, but that works. Now I do have one quick story.
Yeah, go for it.
The worst Halloween costume that I
Oh, there's a worst one?
I was a Christmas present. So my brother went as Santa Claus. I was a Christmas present. But when I tell you I was a Christmas present, I was in a giant box. A giant box. My arms were straight out like this the whole night. I could not put them down. I was miserable the whole night. Miserable. It was awful. Like, it was a ginormous box. My mom cut holes out for my legs and my arms. And I just, like, waddled the whole night. I couldn't move. It was terrible.
I have to ask you because I feel like this is a very common thing.
Okay.
Your first Halloween costume, were you a pumpkin?
I don't believe so. My mom said that I was Simba. Which I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't remember this. My mom couldn't even confirm it, but she said I was Simba. Mm-hmm. But I was never a pumpkin. I don't believe so. I know that's very common.
Yeah, very, very common. I mean, I remember like like there's a picture of my dad and I'm sitting on his lap and it's a pumpkin and I'm like, oh, that's cute.
It is a very cute costume for a newborn.
Wow, for me, I mean, Matt, it's kind of funny because I was Spider-Man at one point.
Okay.
I was a Power Ranger. I actually was a Power Ranger multiple times because I just freaking love the show.
Great show.
I was Poe from the Teletubbies at one point. As a kid,
epic.
Not as an adult, a kid.
I would hope so. That's epic.
I was Rey Mysterio, who was a WWE wrestler.
Oh.
I had his mask and his pants, like legit. Like the fabric was legit. David Pumpkins. I really enjoyed it last year. I was a fisherman and Jenna was a mermaid.
Yes.
Like that was
I remember that.
That was pretty cool.
That was a solid costume.
That was a pretty good couple costume. And it was cheap too. I mean, literally I now have a fisherman vest that I can wear.
Can't beat that.
I'm trying to think what else. I was a Reaper at one point, a Grim Reaper.
Okay.
That actually had like the costume's face. Like it was completely like mesh. And in order for me to eat, I had to take off the whole costume.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think, as everybody mentioned, I was David S. Pumpkins. I would say that was the best costume, but it was the worst kind of experience that I had wearing the costume out. We're not going to go too deep into that.
Nope.
But also, too, the story that I want to mention I was a pimp gorilla at one point.
Excuse me?
Yep. So
We need some
seventh
you got
grade,
some
seventh
explanation
grade.
to do here.
Yes, sir, I do. So seventh grade, my dad. Can't believe we're gonna tell about this. My dad had a pimp costume, so it's literally.
Oh my god.
It was literally like the purple with the cheetah print and the hat and the feather in the head. And then on the back, it literally said pimpin' ain't easy, but we had to take purple duct tape and had to duct tape the back because I was going to like a middle school Halloween dance. And then I also had a gorilla mask and gorilla hands. And my mom's like, why don't you just do like a gorilla pimp? And I'm like, okay, like this works. And we're at the dance. I had a great time. I was sweating from the gorilla costume, but they had a costume contest. I won $100 for being a pimp gorilla.
Oh my god, that is the greatest story I've ever heard in my life.
Listen. I couldn't go any further than that, and I'm
That's
like
incredible.
that was probably one of the pinnacle moments of me wearing.
Can't
a
go
Halloween
wrong with a
costume.
gorilla. R.I.P. Harambe, for Sweet Prince. Gone but never forgotten.
Oh man. Well, again, hopefully everyone has a fantastic Halloween.
Yes.
Do it safely.
Yes. Be smart.
Be smart. And of course, if you have any questions, just make sure you follow CDC guidelines and wear a mask and socially distant. All right. That's all I have for the entertainment topics. When we come back, Matt has his sports topics. You don't want to go away.
Hey guys, it's Matt. As we all know, it's almost time for the election. But even though this is a presidential election, there are many more candidates on the ballot besides the president. Local elected officials affect our lives every day. They decide who to prosecute, monitor the quality of our drinking water, and choose the leadership of our schools. It's important to vote informed, and Ballot Ready is here to help. Go to Ballot Ready now for a nonpartisan guide to your entire ballot. From there, you can compare candidates based on stances on issues, biography, or endorsements, and then save your choices to use when you vote by mail or in the voting booth. You can even request your absentee ballot or make a plan to vote early or on election day. I checked out Ballot Ready myself, and I gotta say, it is super easy to use. I definitely plan on using it more as we get closer to the election. And remember, this election matters. Make sure you have a plan to vote and vote informed. Go to ballotready.org and enter your address to make a plan to vote and vote informed.
Matt, I got to tell you, I am so happy we're continuing to make more episodes for our podcast.
You're so right, Mike. I really am enjoying hearing how awesome each episode is every week from everyone. It's so easy to do.
It is so easy, and we have Anchor, our sponsor for this episode, to thank for. Anchor is free to anyone that wants to start a podcast. It's easy for beginners with the creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also helps distribute our podcasts so our listeners can tune in to their platform of choice, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more.
And Mike, I gotta tell you, I was skeptical before, but we actually are making a profit off this podcast. We are still a small podcast, but it's nice to see the progress we have made with each episode with that money.
Yes, we are making it rain. Kind of. Anchor is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's anchor.fm.
And who knows, you may start a podcast with your best friend.
That's right. Roommates for life.
Okay, let's slide into the sports segments for today. We are going to start off with some NFL topics. I guess I'll start with Thursday Night Football. We got back on the winning side last week, so I am 5-2. I think I'm 5-2. This week is an easy pick. Falcons, Panthers. Panthers are going to roll because the Falcons just suck. The Falcons choke every single game. I'll say 30-17.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to be that close of a game. Like, I think the score is going to not be a factor of how much the Panthers dominated.
Mm-hmm.
One NFL story to mention real quick. So the Browns-Bengals happened this past weekend. Bengals are not a dumpster fire because their rookie quarterback Joe Burrow is actually playing very well. But the team sucks. They have they're 1-5-1, I believe the record is, tied with the Eagles. And after they lost to the Browns in a hilarious fashion, Baker Mayfield threw a touchdown. a dime of a touchdown pass with 11 seconds left. Their veteran defensive end, Carlos Dunlap, he's been with the team, I believe, his entire career, tweeted after the game that his house was up for sale. It said 6,400 square foot house, yada, yada, yada. Serious interest only, looking to move soon. He's gone. I'm assuming he's getting traded. Like, why would you? I understand you're frustrated, and there's been rumors that they're looking to trade some of their veteran defensive players. I feel like this is not the professional way to go about this. Like, if you really want to get out, just be like, hey guys, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, you had a good career with the Bengals. Like, he's a very good player, and I feel like he's kind of like tainting his legacy as a Cincinnati Bengal by doing this.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hilarious. First of all,
oh,
like,
it was
like scrolling on Twitter. You're like, oh,
it was.
Yeah. By the way, Dunlap, get back to my message, please. Just kidding. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like employment. Like, oh, like willing to sell my house to relocate. Like, DM me for any details. Serious inquiries only. Like, yeah, it's funny, but
it's funny, but like. Bengals fans, did you see the replies?
No, I did not.
Bengals fans were furious. They were going after him like, well, if you would actually get to the quarterback, maybe we could have won.
Yikes.
They were going at him. And like I said, like he's been, I don't know if I would say a beloved player, but he's been there for a while. He's had a good career at the Bengals, and now he's just kind of like throwing him under the bus. I feel like this is just a little shady for me. I think it's funny.
Me too.
A little over the line. There's no way he doesn't get traded.
Listen, the Steelers have lost to the Browns. I feel like every team has lost to the Browns at least some point in their career. So, like, get over it. You still have a decent team. I mean, yeah, it's not the best team. But again, look at the 76ers.
No, they suck.
Look at the 76ers. Like, they suck, but they've been having great seasons, but they suck. So,
True.
It's, I think here we are with the Steelers, too. Like, last season, we were complete crap. And now we're the only undefeated team in the NFL at the time of this recording.
6-0, baby.
6-0, baby. That's how we do it.
We were texting. You were actually able to watch a little bit of the game. And you mentioned something that like I thought myself, and this is coming from you who doesn't watch a lot of football. We've never seen Ben throw the ball so much before in a game. It was insane.
Again, I was raised in a house that loves Steelers. I still will root for the Steelers, even if they are in the Super Bowl or not.
Yep.
I'll watch the Super Bowl if there's the teams because that's just part of the celebration for the Super Bowl. But, I've seen and witnessed when we won those two championships years back before we hit the 2010s, I believe.
Yep.
But having, Ben, I just remember him handing it off the ball, running. But like, man, I could not believe it. Like, even that one crazy pass he had this past weekend where it was literally like a side throw.
He like flicked it.
Like, again, that probably would have been an interception, but apparently since Ben's been passing so much, he's actually doing okay.
It was crazy. I would say I think he's like their biggest weakness in a sense, if that makes sense. Because like he did play like shit going down the stretch and just made some dumb throws. Mm-hmm. Like the defense is good. We have a good core receivers. The running game's good. Offensive line's good. If Ben just plays smart and doesn't make mistakes, they could win the Super Bowl.
We could.
Yeah.
I'd be ready to watch the Super Bowl then if that was the case.
Oh, absolutely. I have high hopes. We play Baltimore this weekend. It's going to be a good game. Mm-hmm. Let's move to some NBA. So we have some NBA topics to talk about, and then we have some fun trade ideas that I came up with. First, we're going to talk about Pat Riley. So Pat Riley was in the news talking about, he did a yearly end of the season press conference with the media going over the whole season, what's looking forward to the next season. And he made a quote. Now today he backtracked on his quote, but his original quote was saying that the Lakers title has an asterisk because of the Heat's injuries, saying that because Adebayo was injured and Dragic was injured, that the Lakers seasons or titles have an asterisk. He backed up on that topic and now said that the Heat should have the asterisk next to their name because of the injuries, which makes absolutely no sense at all. There's like the Houston Astros, they have an asterisk because they cheated. The Black Sox in baseball, asterisk because they cheated. I don't see where an asterisk fits in here.
I'm a little disappointed with Pat Riley for this quote because Pat has been under the helm for coaching as well as ownership. I mean, he's owned the team when LeBron James was on his own team too. I think pulling back from last season when it was the Warriors versus the Raptors, why, I don't even know who the owner is, but let me just take Steve Kerr, for example. Like, why hasn't Steve Kerr came out like after the game and saying, well, maybe the Raptors deserve an asterisk because Durant was injured and then we had Klay Thompson not doing so hot. Like, no, like,
Right.
just get your team lost. Like,
Yeah.
And again, too, injuries are one thing. Like, if it's a freak accident, that's another thing. But I think there's the statistic that like more than half of injuries are very preventable.
Right.
So like, I don't see where this disconnect is, especially like I could see if it was a young owner, like him being like very young and new to the game. But like Pat Riley's been around for quite some time. And I don't know. I don't like this. I don't like,
I
and
agree.
yeah, I'm a Lakers fan, but at the same time, like I'm also a Heat fan to a degree, but I don't like this quote to me.
I agree. So, like, the Astros have an asterisk because they cheated. That's something that's not common. Injuries are very common.
Right.
Like, every team that loses can say, well, we weren't healthy, so we should have an asterisk. Like, asterisks are meant for things that are uncommon and not supposed to happen. Injuries happen every single day, every single year, every single game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not something you can just avoid.
We could literally put an asterisk on the Yankees in the past how many years now? Because,
Yeah.
we had injuries. Well,
Yes.
we're not the ones who are complaining. We are admitting that, yes, if we had Judge, if we had Giancarlo, if we had all these people that were healthy, we probably would have been competitive. But we're not coming back and saying, well, we could have won the World Series if, the Yankees were healthy. Like, we don't
Correct.
say that.
Yeah. Asterisks they should only be used lightly, and I feel like this whole Astros thing is gonna people are gonna bring it up a lot more often. Another reason to blame the Houston Astros. Also, hold on, I forgot about something real quick. Cody Parkey is the kicker for the Browns.
Yes.
I would just like to say screw you, Cody Parkey, and I'm not going to elaborate because you know what you did. You know.
Why don't
what
you why don't you tell the people?
I would like to decline on that.
Please.
No.
He's the kicker.
Yes, the kicker. Okay, so some people were mad because the spread was minus 3.5 points, and he missed an extra point to make it 4 points. So,
okay,
you can do the math
All
yourselves.
right, you can continue, Matt.
Yes. Okay. So John Wall was in the news for something that is just idiotic to me. So he was doing an interview on ESPN, and it was talking about the Cowboys. It was just a weird interview. But during the interview, he was playing spades and got distracted like halfway through the interview and had to ask like once or twice for the guy to repeat the question. And people were very mad at John Wall because he was not giving his full attention to the interview. Who cares? I don't know if you have any thoughts on this from a communication standpoint. Like, go ahead.
No, I think it's funny because John Wall, I remember in 7th grade, I did a current events report on John Wall when he brought guns into the locker room when he was on the Wizards. Wait, he still is.
No,
Yeah.
that was Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert Arenas, sorry.
Yes.
Oh, John Wall. Sorry. I don't know. I get those two very confused.
It is. It's common.
As far as the person who's interviewed, like, I mean, I don't know a live TV interview. Like, you kind of need
TV.
that. Yeah, you kind of need that context. Is like, okay, if John is not paying attention, then the producer upstairs and the person who's in your ear, because they all have IFBs in their ear, needs to be like, okay, wrap up this interview because it's not getting any value from us. And then you have to try to figure out within the time limit, within the half hour, or was it hour or half hour of the show? Do you know?
It was like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
10
okay.
minutes.
So you're going to get the questions out of the way, but you're literally having the time. Probably by that first time, he was like, wait, can you repeat that? You're kind of like sitting there being like, okay, we kind of need to find a way to cut him off because you're just going to look more like an idiot sitting there trying to ask him questions when he's not even paying half attention to you.
Right. And I saw some people make the argument that like, well, like this just shows how like how he lacks leadership and all this stuff. And I'm like, it's not like he's being interviewed about his own team. You're asking John Wall, who plays for the Washington Wizards in the NBA, talking about his favorite team, the Dallas Cowboys.
And
that interview is irrelevant in so many ways.
And again, it can also backtrack to the production and the producing team of like, why are you asking John Wall these questions?
It makes no sense. And also, like, he's talking about the NFC East. Like, who cares about the NFC East? They suck. Like, if you watched that Giants-Eagles game last Sunday night or last Thursday night, I almost fell asleep and I turned it on for 5 minutes. Like, if I had to go on TV to talk about the NFC East, I'd probably start playing spades too, because I don't want to talk about the NFC East. Also, he did win his game of spades. He confirmed it after. He confirmed afterwards. So that was good news at least. But this is just the point in the NBA offseason where people are looking for storylines. Who cares?
No.
Like, just let the man be.
Who cares?
And maybe find someone who actually covers the Cowboys for a living to talk about the Cowboys, not John Wall. And now John Wall's a Cowboys fan. That's fine, but like, irrelevant interview. Moving on to our final topic. It is trade season in the NBA. So people this time of year in the offseason love predicting where free agents are going to go and potential trades that can help their team. And some of it is interesting to hear about. One case in particular is about Giannis Antetokounmpo, who is in the final year of his contract with the Bucks. Now, this is interesting. So he could sign a Supermax extension this year, this offseason, that would give him an extra year and an extra $80 million because he made the All-NBA team. That's kind of like the Supermax rules.
Okay.
There's rumors that if he doesn't sign that this offseason, the Bucks are going to look to trade him because they feel like if he's not going to take that now, he's not going to re-sign ever. So they'd rather trade him now to get something back in return for him than let him walk in free agency. What are your thoughts on that, Quick?
I mean, I think we're not... I remember playing 2K, which, by the way, guys, I finally beat NBA 2K19 with my career. I actually won an NBA championship, which to me, on a freaking buzzer beater, for crying out loud, like I was almost going an undefeated season, and it was okay. That's besides the point.
Was there? I'm going to put an asterisk on that because you play on easy.
Yeah, because no, I literally play on pro. I play on pro.
Okay. All right, half an asterisk.
A quarter. It was tough. But as far as this, I don't like the personalities of superstars anymore because I'm going to say it. I'm doing a hot take. Okay. How flaky all of our superstars are in the NBA at this point. Like, there's not one person who's loyal anymore as far as like, oh, I'm going to stay with the team. I'm going to max out my contract. Like, I would honestly wouldn't mind, but like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Klay Thompson the following season actually gets traded or wants a free agency or anything like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised based on him and the Golden State Warriors. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. But as far as this situation, yeah, I mean, hey, hot take. But like, as far as him, I just feel like if he doesn't, then he just wants to win. But if he does, then he's looking for the loyalty and, of course, like his job security, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah, I think if you're Milwaukee, I kind of would say, listen, sign the Supermax because you're in Milwaukee. Right. It's not like teams are lining up the door to come to Milwaukee to play basketball. Mm-mm. You got lucky with Giannis, and yeah, we're the number one seed like 2 years in a row. But if he doesn't take that deal, an extra $80 million, come on. So I thought. Oh, go ahead.
I think it also, too, is a little jealousy with his brother winning an NBA championship.
Probably.
His brother, what's his name? His brother...
Costas, I believe?
Costas.
Yeah, there's actually three of them.
Yeah.
I think his other brother plays for the Bucks.
Costas was on the Lakers, and the Lakers just won an NBA championship. So, for him, I think it's a little jealousy as far as, like, the winning aspect.
He also did just win 2 straight MVPs and hasn't made finals.
Right.
So, what I thought we would do, I have 10 trade scenarios for Giannis. So these are based off of TradeNBA.com. A lot of people use the ESPN trade machine. It sucks because they didn't tell you what players were free agents. And in TradeNBA.com, you can throw in picks. So I'll give you the team, and then I'll give you the quick trade. We don't have to dissect every single player I put in there, but we'll just see team fit. So the first one, Houston Rockets. Giannis and George Hill go to Houston for Russell Westbrook, Daniel House, and a 2022 first-round pick.
Yeah.
Giannis and Harden would be the second-best team in the West.
But Harden okay, I won't go too deep, but like, it would be a perfect fit pick because I feel like the Rockets need a center, but God forbid Giannis can literally be the point too for all we know. Like,
Could. Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be a nice little fit.
Yes, I agree. I think they would be behind the Lakers instantly.
I mean, the Bucks too with Westbrook. I mean, we've seen Westbrook
and Chris
with,
Middleton would maybe work
maybe.
for a little bit. I mean, they'd probably swap Westbrook the next year. All right, this next one, I did not just do this for my own pleasure. There are rumors. There are rumors
exactly where this is going.
that the Suns are looking for another star for Devin Booker. So this package actually is probably a top 5 package they could get, if I'm being serious. So it would be Giannis and Dante DiVincenzo for DeAndre Ayton, Kelly Oubre, Frank Kaminsky, Ty Jerome, who was the first-round pick last year for the Suns, and the first-round pick in this year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're getting Russell Westbrook in exchange for Giannis.
Right.
Like,
I mean, Westbrook right now would be a better player, but Ayton has a better future ahead of him.
Right.
Oubre has a better future. Kaminsky and Jerome just kind of got put in there for salary cap reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And Giannis and Booker would be insane.
That'd be sick.
Insane.
I hope that for you, man. Not that I'm going against it. I hope so.
That would be crazy. And
That'd be
looking
cool.
forward to next week, I have 10 general trade ideas.
Okay.
And I have one with the Suns in there, so stay tuned next week for that. Trade number 3, the Miami Heat. This one's pretty interesting. So it would be just Giannis for Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Kelly Olynyk, and a 2022 first-round pick.
I don't know, man.
Could you imagine a team with Giannis, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo? They would not give up. Like, they would average giving up 90 points a game.
Yeah, but you also have Tyler Hero, who's really coming up on a really hot season. Like,
He is that. But are you saying if you're Miami, you're not going to trade Hero for Giannis?
I don't know, because you got that mojo from last season.
Yeah, but that's instantly the best team in the East. Instantly.
Anybody's gonna have the best team in the East because there's not that much competition anymore.
Exactly, but you have Butler locked up. If you lock up Adebayo and Giannis, you're set for like 5 years.
Right.
All right, this next one I would pain me to see happen.
Okay.
Kinda. Portland Trailblazers. Giannis and Dante DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo's been in every single
Poor
one
guy.
of these. For CJ McCollum. Zach Collins, who's like a young forward. He's pretty promising. And 2 first-round picks.
Why would you see that as, like, you'd be upset over that?
Mostly because I like CJ in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't want to see CJ go to Milwaukee. That why. Giannis and Damian Lillard.
God.
That would be the second best team in the West.
Yikes.
That would be insane.
Big yikes.
This next one, I'm not thrilled with it, but I put it in here. Denver Nuggets. I actually think it's an interesting case.
Okay.
So Giannis and Eric Bledsoe for Nikola Jokic and Gary Harris. That's an interesting one.
It's a fair trade.
I think Denver would do it in a heartbeat. I don't know if I just don't know how other teams feel about Jokic. Like, he's kind of like a center, but he's like a point guard at the same time. I feel
Again,
like he
that's
works
Giannis.
yeah, but Jokic is a lot better passer than Giannis. Like, I feel like Jokic works in Denver. I don't know if he would work somewhere else. But I do think that's probably the fairest trade we've had. Mm-hmm. Next one, Dallas Mavericks. Giannis and Eric Bledsoe for Kristaps Porzingis, Seth Curry, Jalen Brunson, who's a point guard, Justin Jackson, who's like a forward, and a first-round pick.
See, I don't see Porzingis. Like,
I think if he didn't get injured, I think this trade looks a lot better.
I thought you were going to get Doncic out. I'm like, what?
No, that wouldn't happen. Also, I know I've said this like 3 times, but I'm going to make a bigger statement. Giannis and Doncic is the best team in the West. Better than the Lakers. Hands down. You have probably the best point guard in the league in Doncic. And then the 2-time reigning MVP.
Yeah.
It's with the best owner in basketball in Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
That is... I had to throw it in there. That team would just be unfair.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics. This is actually, I think, the best package I came up with. So it would be Giannis, George Hill, Dante DiVincenzo for Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Enes Kanter, and 2 first-round picks.
See, I feel like you wouldn't lose anything with Ennis, but like getting rid of Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown, like I feel like you're dismantling a team to rebuild the team. I'm just looking at it from
For
like a
Boston?
management perspective. Yeah.
I would. You're saying you wouldn't want a team with Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, and Giannis?
Yeah, but you already had a really solid season this past one.
They
so.
did, but they have so many. Like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are kind of like the same player in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like they both do the same things. So one of them's got to go, and Tatum has a higher ceiling. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like I would do this trade in a heartbeat if I'm Boston.
Yeah, I feel like the whole NBA was under a magnifying glass this year just due to the bubble. So,
Yes.
you're really seeing this team chemistry between everybody. So,
True. And also, this was a similar package that was going to be offered for Anthony Davis before he went to the Lakers.
mm-hmm.
These next three are probably not going to happen, but I was running out of teams.
Yeah, go ahead and roll with them.
Brooklyn Nets. Giannis and Eric Bledsoe for Kyrie Irving, Karis LeVert, and Jarrett Allen.
No. I'm just going to say no right now.
For who? For Milwaukee?
Just either.
There's rumors that the Nets are already kind of tired of Kyrie.
That's weird. Well.
That's which many people aren't surprised. But could you imagine KD and Giannis? Holy fook.
Do I have to censor that?
No.
Okay.
If you want to. Toronto Raptors. Giannis and Robin Lopez for Pascal Siakam, Patrick McCaw, Terrence Davis, and 2 first-round picks.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I think Toronto would have to offer something more. I was running out of ideas. Last one. The Los Angeles Clippers.
Oh, I was going to say, is it Lakers?
No,
I'd be really intrigued how
so the
you pull
Clippers
that off.
there's rumors that they're looking to blow up their roster already.
Okay.
So, Giannis and Eric Bledsoe for Paul George, Landry Shamet, Terrence Mann, and a second-round pick because Clippers traded like 5 of their first-round picks for Paul George, and they don't have any left.
I think, yeah.
I think that'd be a pretty good one. Kawhi and Giannis would be the best team in LA. And the Bucks, I mean, Paul George is probably the best player you're going to get for him. Playoff PP.
I'd be good with that.
Yeah. I don't think they trade Giannis yet. But I really don't think if he doesn't sign now, I would get something for him. It's the same thing kind of that's going to happen with LeBron. Like they got a few picks, but they could have gotten a lot more if they traded him the year before. And the Pelicans with Anthony Davis. They got Brandon Ingram.
And Lonzo.
Yeah, Alonzo and Josh Hart and all that stuff. So that includes the sports segments for today. It is time for Dude. That's crazy. So you all know how this works. I don't even think I need to explain it.
Mind you, the first time we did this was I was enjoying it. And it was in person of all things, but like
That's true,
I
it was.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yes. So, do you want to start or you want me to start?
Did I start? I started last week. I started
Okay.
the first time, so I'm going to start with you. Yeah.
Okay. So, foxes.
Okay.
They're canines.
Why would you say that?
Because they are. Like, it's like when you think of fox, you think they're a cat. Foxes are technically a species of dogs. Like, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's a scientific fact.
Right.
Foxes are canines.
Right.
You wouldn't think a fox is a dog. Don't tell me you think of. No, come on. Are you serious? No. You're telling me Swiper the fox on Dora the Explorer, you thought that was a dog? Or a kind of dog?
The schnauzer on him, like.
No. The foxes. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Just say it.
All right, I'll say it for it. Dude, that's crazy.
All right. My second one's better.
Yes.
All right. Go ahead. You're first.
All right. So, you know how sometimes you aren't feeling well, right?
Yeah.
And usually the most cases is telling someone to go to bed, right?
Yeah.
So telling someone to go to bed is the human version of, did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Whoa.
I thought of this for a while.
Whoa. Dude, that's crazy. Yeah. That's a good point. You don't,
Because,
wow.
again, like I had a headache Sunday into Monday morning, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go to bed. It'll be better. Tried turning it off and turning it back on again.
That is crazy. You don't really think about that, but like that is kind of like your on-off switch.
Right. Your reset button, more or less.
Reset button. And a lot of times you do feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
That's every time someone, like when I ask my mom for something, I'm like, did you plug it in or plug it out and plug it back in? But damn, that is wild.
I mean, it's like when you're drunk, like you wake up in the morning. Oh, look at, I mean, you have some side effects because, you
water.
didn't really plug in, but like, yeah, you
Right.
got some water.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you're drunk, it's kind of like if there's a virus in you, then you go to bed and like virus is
comes out.
gone.
Or
Yeah.
it comes out in the
Reset.
toilet.
Well, either or.
Yeah.
All right, this one's mind blowing.
I'm ready.
So, I was talking with some of my younger cousins, and for some reason I was asking them like what they play in school, in the recess. They're like, "Oh, we play touch and go." I'm like, "What the hell is touch and go?" It's tag. Tag stands for touch and go.
What?
Yes. Tag is an acronym for touch and go.
What?
Yeah. Right?
That's crazy.
Dude, well, when I heard that, because then he's like, "Oh, we're playing tag." I was like, "Wait, did you just call tag touch and go?" So he's like, I forget who I was talking about. They're like, "Yeah, that's what it stands for."
How
touch
old
and
are
go."
your cousins?
They were in like elementary school.
When did we know? What?
I don't know, dude.
What?
Like, I feel like my whole life is a lie.
What? What?
I know. This was my exact reaction. I thought it was just tag. Like, people say
Right.
tag, you're
Like
it. But
tag.
when you think
like,
about
you
it,
got, you shoot a deer. Oh, you're gonna tag it. Like you don't touch
Right.
and go. Like,
right, but when you think about it, when you tag someone, you touch and go. It's wild. I feel
hell?
like my elementary school teachers like taught me lies, and like I can't trust anything anymore.
Damn you, physical education teachers.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know that one hurt. That one like put my mind in a pretzel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Oh man! All right, give it to me.
All right. Did you know the keys of your car have traveled further than the car itself?
Wait. The keys of your. Whoa. Holy shit. That's crazy. Because it travels from your. Because you keep them with you.
Right. So technically
Damn.
it gets more mileage out of you
Yeah.
walking than it does actually driving.
Wow. That's. I can't comprehend that right now. Wow. Yeah, that's weird. Like you would. That's freaky. That's like. I don't even have words. Like people always feel like they worry about like having the right motor and all this stuff, but like the key is what makes it go.
Right.
Damn.
Keys to success, man.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, we just
I still don't have words. So like, I it's something simple that like shouldn't be this mind blowing, but then you sit here and you're like, whoa, that like there's no way that's true, but then it's true. It's wild, just like the fox thing. You actually thought foxes were dogs?
I wouldn't think they were cats.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would think foxes are cats.
Do you want to know? Do you want a bonus of dude that's crazy?
Do I want a bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What does a fox say? Ring ding 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 ding.
Set
ding,
myself
ring,
up for
ding,
that
ding,
one.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Wop pop 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 pow. Wop pop 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 pow. Wop pop 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 pow.
I walked right into that one.
Ho, hi 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 ho.
That concludes today's episode of the Funny Business Podcast.
Ding, 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 ding.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you follow us on social media. Funny Business Entertainment on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and Funny Business EN on Twitter.
Also, make sure you go follow Matt's TikTok, as he's posting some of our highlights from this episode into his podcast itself. So,
and if the videos do well, we'll make our own Funny Business TikTok accounts.
Oh God, that's gonna be disaster.
Also, I have some PSA. I have a few PSAs.
Okay, go ahead.
1, tomorrow is Halloween. Well, actually, let me put this off there. After you're done listening to this episode, today, Mandalorian Season 2 came out.
Oh,
great show. Go watch it. Tomorrow's Halloween. Be safe. Be smart. Make good choices.
Wear a mask, and the mask of your costume doesn't count.
Correct. This is the last podcast we're recording for the election, so make sure you please go vote.
Yes, please do.
That's all I'm going to say. Daylight savings time is Sunday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. So move your clocks back. Fall back. Spring forward.
Do we get an hour? Or do we lose one?
We gain it. Yeah, we gain an hour, so clocks go back.
I cannot wait for that hour.
Yep. My last PSA, as Sunday is November 1st, let me be the first person to wish you all a Merry Christmas. We finally made it to Christmas time.
Are you kidding me?
It's finally Christmas time, so you play that Christmas music.
Come on.
Get those Christmas decorations out. It is Christmas time, baby.
I can't even. Oh my God! Well, have a holly jolly. Well, have a holly jolly day, everyone. And until next time, we'll see you on the next podcast.
Stay safe, everyone. Dude, don't knock my Christmas season. Knock your cookies off.
Oh wow!